Hey guys, it's Tana and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a special video for a birthday getaway challenge that Jamie is having over at Not Too Shabby. So the idea was to create a card helping her decide where her birthday getaway should be. And the choices were the beach, the mountains, or the North Woods. And of course, I picked the beach. So we're going to have fun putting this card together. And it's kind of like a tri-fold card. Right here I'm showing you that I made the circle slightly smaller than I originally intended. But I ended up cutting that footage out, so it didn't really matter. Anyway, so here I'm showing you I also scored that one piece of card stock and decided that probably wasn't a good idea until I made my background. So I started with a new piece. That front panel there, I cut a circle out with my infinity dies, my Hero Art Circle infinity dies, and I also scored a line a 1/4 inch in on that panel. Now that panel was cut to be 4.5 by 5.5 because I didn't have paper that was long enough to create this card, so we're just gonna stick that on with some score tape. Anyway, you'll see that later on in the video. Excuse my voice, this happens to me when I'm quitting smoking. My voice comes and goes as that first week that I'm going without cigarettes. And this stamp here came from Unity Stamp Company, this beach girl. She's one of my favorites, and I don't get to use her that often. Excuse me. So I made a mask for her, and we're going to do some ink blending. Here I used tumble glass for the sky, and I just laid down a piece of purple tape across there to make my skyline. And then I go in with my homemade cloud stencil and the Salty Ocean Distress Oxide ink, and I just start blending in my clouds. Now I just tilt my stencil, this way and that, and add layers of cloud outline on there so that it looks like a full puffy cloud summer sky, if you know what I'm talking about. And I like the way this turns out. I use it a lot when I'm ink blending sky into my background. And now I do add some clouds, regular puffy clouds, white ones in there, but this is just, to fill in the background of the sky. So we're almost done with that. I'm going to very carefully peel up my purple tape without ripping it. And I saw a tip from somebody else on YouTube that if you pull the tape straight back on itself, you shouldn't rip your paper. And now we have Spring Rain, Simon Says Stamp Hybrid ink, and that's going to be the first layer of my ocean. I don't know if you guys remember this stamp set from last year's Hero Arts kit. I think it was last June. But this is one of my favorite stamp sets by them. Because, of course, I love the ocean and I love the beach. And I just overlap these to get that to go all the way across. And I do end up with a line down the middle of my card. But I end up adding and trying to fix that. Plus, with the crease going in there, you don't really notice it at the end. This next one here didn't have a name. A lot of my little small Hero Arts ink cubes came in kits. I think it was turquoise, and it came in that Arabian Nights kit. But the third one for sure, I don't remember the name of. I never wrote it on the cube itself, and it doesn't have the name written on it. But I went through all the ink cubes in it that I had and picked colors that I thought would complement each other for the 3 layers of the ocean. Now here you see me just using the edge of the ink pad, and I was just going over that center line there, trying to blend in that dark line. As you can see, it didn't work too well. There's that third layer there, and it's like a deep, deep turquoise. You can see that color on the misty cover a little bit there. So that's all done. We're going to add in 2 sailboat silhouettes in the background. And I use my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink for this. And I put 3 layers down to make sure that those silhouettes were nice and black. Now these clouds are puffy clouds, and they're layering stamps, and they also came in this ocean stamp set. So I did 3, 4, 5 of them. 3 small ones, 1 long one, and 1 big one. And I used my unicorn white ink from Hero Arts and did that, and I put down the first couple layers, and I dried it with my heat gun and put down a couple more layers because that pigment ink likes to stay wet, and I needed it to dry so I could add more layers. And after that, the shadow layer that goes over those puffy clouds, I used my London Fog Memento Dewdrop ink pad to add a little bit of gray to those white puffy clouds. Excuse me. Oh God, guys, it's like I'm straining to talk. It's killing me. So for the sand, I used antique linen first, believe it or not. This is regular distress ink, and that first layer there is antique linen. And after I put that down, the next layer in, this one right here, is tea dye. I mean it, I'm straining to talk and it feels like I'm giving myself a headache. And the third layer, which just goes around the edges after I finish the center here, is just a little bit of vintage photo. I think I'm going to take some ibuprofen, guys, before I lay down, because as soon as I upload this, I'll be laying down. And now here I'm going to finally score that card base, and it's going to be scored like a regular card, right at 4 1/4. Oh, yes, I did score it, and then I used the hello stamps that came in that same ocean kit, the one that looks like you wrote in the sand. And I inked that up 3 times with Icing on the Cake by Catherine Pooler, and I go over it with that special sand embossing powder that came in last year's Hero Arts kit. And now, even though I dried that and used my powder bag on it, sand embossing powder still stuck to it. So I did my best. I also did 2 layers over that hello stamp with embossing powder. And then I inked up some black silhouettes of some birds. Ooh. Excuse me, sorry, I was taking ibuprofen. Now here I'm using that stencil I created with the circle. I did another ocean scene, but I used different colors for that. And then I'm using the plastic circle template to cover the picture itself and going over the edge a little bit, roughly with some tumbled glass. I didn't want it to be a perfect circle. Now I'm taking one of those cloud dies and I flipped it over on itself, so I'm using the solid side, the back of the stamp, and I'm creating an island in the center of that picture, sitting right on top of the water. And then I'm going to add some palm trees to it. Now these palm trees came from another Hero Arts kit. I think it's called Arabian Nights. I'm not sure. It had the very intricate window die and some sand dunes and camels. And then that little palm tree there that I'm using now, that came in the summer kit last year with the layering ocean. After that, I used that stamp set off to the right there, and I don't show it because I wanted to keep this a short video. But I added all that seaweed and seashells down at the bottom, and I put 2 sentiments on that part of the card. Enjoy the beach life and see you soon. And all of these were meant to encourage her to choose the beach. So they get read in order. I'll tell you in a second. I added some starfish and some sandy footprints from that same summer kit from last year from Hero Arts onto the beach there, and then I used different colors of brown, black, and white markers to create dimension in the sand where it meets the ocean. And I also add a layer of Cloud 9 Nouveau drops right at the edge there to create like a foam on the edge of the sea. And I don't show myself applying that, but it is in the pictures. the sentiments. That's what I also added some embossing powder around the edges there. I just poured it on the sand and let it stick where it was going to stick and then heated it up. And if I had that to do over again, I probably wouldn't do it because I don't like that blotch that's covering the starfish right there. I'm putting my score tape on that line, on that scored line on the front card base, and then I'm scoring it to fold it over. And I'll peel that off and line it up. Now you want to put this on the left side of that piece of card because it's going to be as if you were opening a regular card. So that's where that panel goes. You want to make sure you slide it in there and you line it up nice and even. And then the side with the girl, the beach girl on it, will go fold in towards that front panel. Like so. And I end up trimming a little bit off of that so it folds a little bit better. Right here, I just trim a little tiny bit off right there where she's standing. That way when it folds into the crease in the card, it doesn't stick up. Also on that front panel, the front of the card, I cut a circle out of an alcohol ink panel of turquoises and greens just to create a frame around that hole in the card. And of course you can see my Copic coloring of the beach girl, so I had to cover up that panel with a piece of Nina 110 pound. I don't know why I went for the 110 pound, but I did. Or no, she gets covered up with the second panel of the card, and then the back of the card I put a panel of 110 pound because there were some marks for my ink blending. So here you have the card. You fold in that front panel there at the front, and it's got a sign that says beach, and it says greetings from my happy place. Then you open to the second layer, which shows the scene that you see through the hole in the front of the card, and it says enjoy the beach life, see you soon. And then on the inside of the card, when you fold it out to show the beach and the ocean scene, it says hello and life is better with sandy feet. So I hope you enjoy my card. I hope Jamie enjoys it, and I hope she chooses to go to the beach for her birthday getaway. I will see you all soon in the next video. Thank you for putting up with my strange, strained voice, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.